Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Orla Berkery and I am the Director of Learning, Development and Talent Solutions with the HR Tech Partnership. I'm also a qualified executive and business coach. And today I'm excited to share with you some fantastic emerging AI and HR tech solutions for mentoring, coaching and upskilling. But before I share my slides and content with you, I'd like to set some context. Over the past 12 months, almost overnight, we saw a shift away from face-to-face working, meetings, and in-person coaching conversations, and an instantaneous pivot to almost every meeting and conversation being held online, over Zoom or Teams. And this change has created additional challenges for organizations and business leaders in terms of how they support employees from a development, mentoring, and coaching perspective, together with how to ensure that their mental well-being is a priority. The pandemic and the subsequent move to remote and hybrid work that ensued led to a lot of anxiety and concerns about employee mental well-being and their supports. And it's not surprising, therefore, that one of the key focus areas of coaching to emerge as a result of the pandemic is around the area of mental well-being. However, being a year in, there is a realization now that employee development, upskilling, and the performance supports of coaching and the developmental supports of mentoring are also a necessity. And recent research from the CIPD and Grant Thornton and our own experience has shown us that whilst many organizations are looking for a quick and effective way, to support employees, the strategically focused organizations are looking for coaching and mentoring solutions that are scalable, will have greater reach, and deliver fast results in a cost-effective way. So these strategically focused organizations are now delivering the traditional coaching and mentoring initiatives, but in a very different way through digital and AI solutions. So today I will be sharing with you 3 digital solutions in the area of mentoring, coaching, learning, and upskilling. And I'm delighted that I'm going to be able to share with you a short video clip for each of the solutions, which will give you an opportunity to see it in action and to understand how these solutions could be used to support the HR talent management and learning agenda. And in addition to the solution overview and video, I'll share with you some of our recent success stories by means of a case study. So I would like to share my slides with you now. So at the HR Tech Partnership, we run a corporate digital innovation hub program where organizations can pilot a digital HR solution across one of the many aspects of the employee life cycle. And you will have an opportunity to see some of these solutions today. And I will speak some more on the Innovation Hub towards the end of today's session. So first I'm going to speak about mentoring. Managing a traditional mentoring program can be quite a task for organizations. There's a lot of manual process and hard work involved in matching mentors and mentees, managing the program, and extrapolating meaningful data and reports. So the solution I will be sharing with you addresses all of these issues and offers an easy and cost-effective way to set up and structure and run a mentoring program. So I would suggest turning up your sound, the videos, so you can optimize your experience.
A platform that we've developed to really streamline the mentoring process, both for organisations but also the individuals who are taking part in mentoring. The platform has a number of features both to match mentors and mentees, but also to help them engage with the mentoring process. We've got the ability to add goals and keep track of the progress that you're making. You can also schedule in meetings directly with your mentor or mentee through the platform, and that integrates with a number of different calendars such as Google and Outlook calendars. The system also pulls through about 18,000 professional events at any time from various sources online and suggests the most relevant events to an individual. And as well as mentoring, we look at career progression more generally, so pulling out career progression reports, where someone wants to be, what their end goal is in their career, and also enable networking within an organisation too. So it's a really collaborative learning approach. There are lots of benefits to mentoring, of course, such as improved employee engagement, improved employee retention, cost-effective internal learning, effective diversity and inclusion, empowerment, and also cross-departmental channels of communication. It's a very flexible solution too, so we allow organisations to define what they want. We can change the branding, we can change the phraseology, and a wealth of other features too that really make it feel like it's your own company's platform. When we're onboarding employees, we go through 4 steps. So the first is a review, and we work closely with an organisation to really understand what they want to get out of their mentoring programs. The second step is to look at customisation, so looking at things like dropping in branding, any custom mentor matching requirements or rules. The third step is then onboarding, so looking at how we get mentors and mentees onto the platform, looking at how we engage with employees or members of a mentoring program as best we can, making sure that there's an understanding of what mentoring really is. And we've got a wealth of resources to help with that too. And then the final step really is to get mentoring, so rolling out the platform to employees, making sure that they understand how it's working, checking in regularly with our clients, and ultimately making sure that mentoring relationships are really flourishing.
So as we have just seen here, the solution offers a very easy way to get up and running with the mentoring program. And the technology sits on top of all the mainstream HRIS. And once it's implemented, the platform takes care of the mentor matching, as we saw. It enables people to find the relevant support and to communicate with their mentor and add their goals, schedule in their meetings, and track their mentoring progress, and also get feedback. And additional functionality is that it can really embed the behaviours required for career progression, such as mass goal setting. And the event recommendation function can suggest which events would be more suitable for the mentee to attend. And it also allows networking. All the while, management are able to get total visibility of the activity of mentoring and the reporting, and draw down reports and get insights into the effectiveness of mentoring. So I'd also like to draw your attention to one of the key features of this solution. It is a white label, so it can be tailored to your own corporate brand and mentoring program. So in doing so, it can be customized to reflect the goals of the organization's own mentoring program. Also, as we heard in the VT, here on the left, there are many menus to add and track the goals, set up the meetings. One of the features that I personally like with this particular solution is that the participants can get access to the key internal networks within the organization, all through the platform. So the value of mentoring as a career development support has been long acknowledged. However, as with any HR process, it is open to the effects of bias within that process. So by using a digital solution for mentor matching and network access, this enables bias to be removed and for a much more transparent system to evolve. And lastly, on this solution, the analytics that the organization can get from the platform key insights into who the effective mentors are. It really allows for career planning, and most importantly, the analytics can feed into the overall upskilling and career planning strategy of the organization. So I'd now like to share with you one of our case studies that demonstrates how this particular solution was used by a financial services organization to great effect. So this organization was seeking firstly to improve the effectiveness of their mentoring program. Secondly, to reduce the amount of time spent on managing the mentoring scheme. And thirdly, they wanted to get insights and analytics into key themes and get an understanding of the effectiveness of their mentors in the organization. So they came to us for a solution because their existing mentoring program was effectively too labor intensive and time consuming for both HR and line management. Also, with the increase in remote and hybrid work, they were looking, I suppose, for a solution and a way to allow mentoring conversations to take place on an online platform. So overall, their original mentoring program was not effectively supporting their employees' career progression. So our solution involves the introduction of an AI-driven mentoring platform that intelligently automated the mentoring matching, crucially in a non-biased way. The push notifications feature enabled a less time-intensive solution that helped both parties manage their own relationships without HR having to get involved. And given the extensive database of events and career information that was available on the platform, personal recommendations were available to help support employees' career progression and the overall organization's upskilling program. So following implementation, the results were very significant from both savings, a time saving and engagement rate perspective. For example, you can see here an average 26 hours were saved per month for managers. And this was significant as one of the key drivers for the organization was that any solution we provided had to provide time savings. And also the organization reported that program retention rates were higher for both mentees at 22% and mentors at 20% in comparison to pre-solution rollout. Employees also reported that their career development support had significantly improved. So firstly, program participation increased, so that objective was met. And secondly, the organization was able to gain key insights that it required through the analytics the platform provided. So now they're in a much stronger position to continually improve and grow their mentoring program. So I'm now going to move on to our next topic, which is coaching, and introduce you to a digital solution, give you an overview of the features, and again, share with you one of our recent success stories with one of our clients. But before I share the short video I have for you, I'd like to bring some context to how coaching has historically been used in organizations. And although we've seen coaching move much more recently into the mainstream, the high quality, robust executive one-to-one coaching, face-to-face coaching has most commonly been reserved in organization for senior leaders or top high potential talent. And this has largely been due to the time intensive nature of it, but also from a cost perspective, it's proved prohibitive to be scalable at any meaningful level. And you may recall, as I mentioned in my introduction, strategically focused organizations are increasingly looking for and implementing coaching and mentoring solutions that are, number one, scalable, number two, have greater reach, and can get into more levels of the organization. And I think importantly, given our current economic climate, they want to deliver these results in a very fast and effective way. With the old paradigm of face-to-face coaching and feedback, the first and mid-level managers were able to do this in an in-person setting, but now with the more remote or hybrid workforce, there needs to be a shift towards equipping and supporting these first and second level managers to deliver coaching in this new way. So organizations are calling on these managers more and more to manage and support their employees in an environment with added complexity. We've remote work, they're managing issues around mental well-being, anxiety, and so forth. And this can be a challenge and struggle for these new managers who may not have had the experience in this area. So therefore, it is very important that any solution an organization is considering must be capable of addressing this. One of the many benefits, though, we have seen to using digital solutions in coaching is the age profile of these junior to mid managers. These are really the generation who are truly digital, and therefore we found they're very, very quick to adapt and embrace the digital solutions that we can provide. So the digital solution, the coaching solution I'll share with you now, gives an overview of the app. It gives an overview of the functionality, personalized content, and an overview of the learning center, together with a preview of the coach booking system. And it shows as well how employees can actually connect with their individual coaches.
And so I just want to show you around the product. So here's kind of the home page. You can see my upcoming session, the fact of the day, and today's article. So here's my upcoming session with my coach. Here's the fact of the day to kind of keep a daily engagement. And here's an article that I receive on a daily basis based on what I'm following on the app. Then we get into the learning center. So this is kind of a collection of resources that we collect through the web on various topics, and we update every week on this is kind of on mental health. I can go there and click on the link that I find interesting, and have a read in my own time for micro learning. And if I happen to enjoy that article, I can press on the star here as mark as a favorite, and I will always be able to retrieve it in the favorite tab up there. So here's kind of learning center, and then we get onto the most important part of the app, which is the chat section. So see about synchronous and asynchronous communication with my coach. So in order to book a session, it's very easy. I can click on the calendar tab on the top. These are my past sessions with Debbie. My coach is amazing, and I can then book another session with her. And this will directly sync with her current availabilities with her calendar, and I can just go in there and click for a session that I'm looking for and confirm if I want, and I will receive all the info through calendar invite and email confirmation and a Zoom link to connect as well. So I can also connect through asynchronous conversation with my coach, and she follows up with me on a weekly basis, asking me questions through videos, and it's always great to get this kind of support from her. This is the kind of pulse I have access to, and she will basically support on various engagement metrics, and based on my answers every week or every 2 weeks, she will have the best questions for me and will directly adapt her coaching protocol dynamically. And so it's really great to have this kind of support at all times.
So as we have just seen, a great benefit to this solution is the continuous support that the employee gets via weekly calls, the one-to-one support via the live coaching sessions, and the access to resources that support employees in attaining their goals. Employees can also get to select their coach based on their coaching profile or bio during the onboarding process, and again, schedule their meetings. Another benefit of this solution is, again, the data and analytics that can be obtained, such as insights into particular areas of the organization or locations or groups within the company that may be challenged, or the coaching topics or areas of focus that may be relevant to the organization. This can help drive and support programs in a very unobtrusive way. And as you can see, many of the coaching solutions have become an integral part of, the integral part of the onboarding process, which allows organizations to customize content for particular parts of the company before, during, and after the onboarding process. So again, I would like to share with you now another case study from one of our recent clients, which is an AI media services organization. And this company were seeking to increase employee engagement and to really improve their internal conversations and provide a cost-effective digital solution that could be rolled out to all levels of employees, therefore scalable across the organization. And previously, this company had only made coaching sessions available to senior managers, and the shift to remote working really necessitated that these conversations could take place in a remote setting across the platform. So the solution that we provided was really to address the fact that remote working had made it difficult for team leaders to coach and support employees. And based on feedback from employees, this company were very well aware that wellness was a key concern. And therefore, they would have to ensure that any future conversations could effectively manage the topic. Also, there was a lack of insights into people data, which effectively led to a risk of declining employee engagement. And in tandem with this, budgets were limited around coaching activity. So as we saw in the shared VT, the solution we introduced allowed for personalized content for employees, which was extremely relevant to their diverse workforce. It also gave 24/7 contact or access to coaches via messaging platforms, etc. So the results in this case were very significant. As we can see, after 3 months, the average engagement of participants increased by 15%. Employees reported a 20% improvement in the quality of their feedback. And management gained the insight and analytics into the key engagement themes, and therefore they were able to proactively focus on hotspots within the company, which allowed for the continual improvement and development of their coaching program. So to complete this section on coaching and mentoring, and before I move on to learning and upskilling, it's important, I guess, to reflect and note that there are many exciting developments coming out in the AI HR tech space. For example, apps that allow for first level advice and then connect you to a live coach, and team coaching can also now be delivered digitally. We saw with the mentoring solution that it's possible to schedule meetings, mentor match, nudge, push, and keep those all-important career goals on track. But what is key in these areas is the organisation network analysis. All the content on platforms such as email, Slack, this can be used to inform analytics and to inform the organisation on what are the key areas that they need to be focusing on. Two-way bot solutions are becoming a reality, and there are AR solutions that are being used to support senior managers in those coaching conversations. So to recap, the old paradigm was face-to-face coaching reserved for high potentials or senior managers. Video coaching was really B2C apps. However, the new paradigm has seen a shift to B2B technology with the creation of platforms that facilitate meetings, allow for career progression, goals, analytics, and the provision of coaching that is cost effective, yes, and scalable, and it can be delivered to everyone. Those first and second line managers are embracing and benefiting from these new technologies. And digital solutions also allow for tailored support based on data points on engagement and personal development metrics. We also saw how employees can get unlimited access now to resources, personalized libraries, and self-assessments on chosen skills. And they can go in and request this continuous feedback from their peers and colleagues. So I'm now going to move on to learning and upskilling. So one of the key challenges for businesses and business leaders with current L&D platforms is that they fail to enable fast and frequent learning. And there can be a lack of personalization in the employee learning content. So traditionally, we had organizational learning as being classroom-based and a one-size-fits-all approach. And I think it's fair to say that employee engagement in such formal settings has often been low. And we have found that employees can fail to ascertain how that particular style of learning or content is relevant to them. What we also saw is current learning platforms have been difficult to access, and oftentimes they can be, scattered or disconnected from everyday workflows. And how we assess learning has historically been based on completion rates and not the skills progression. Again, the traditional systems have been a one-size-fits-all, lacking in that personalization. So I'm now going to share our solution with you.
Is an AI-powered workplace learning platform that onboards, upskills, and enables teams with the knowledge they need when they need it, right where they work. Say goodbye to generic one-size-fits-all learning and hello to AI-powered personalized learning based on individual requirements and goals. Through skills mapping, smart search, and a wealth of content, your teams can upskill in the way that best suits them. With a library of curated third-party content from leading experts, you can pick and choose the kind of content you want to push to your teams. Now anyone can create content, start conversations, and provide feedback, contributing to common goals right from their desktop or on the go. Now integrates directly into your workflow. Our browser plugin, Slack, and mobile apps, as well as connecting into your cloud storage, CMSs, help desks, and more, so you have access to all of your work wherever you are. Grow your people, retain talent, and increase productivity by creating a learning culture that empowers your team to teach, learn, and collaborate together. Because software doesn't run businesses, teams do. Work smarter, faster, together. Now,
So this solution pushes relevant content that has been selected across many different platforms, be that internal, such as PowerPoint presentations, learning management systems, but also externally from websites or publications. So effectively, it pulls together content to make for a much more meaningful and relevant learning experience for the employee. And it does this based on past browsing interests. So once an employee begins to engage with a particular type of content, more and more of this content is provided through AI. So it's very similar to a Netflix style approach. And where we find this to be particularly useful is in catering for a diverse employee base, where organizations may require tailoring of a particular content to particular groups based on demographics or geographics. An example of where this type of solution is being used for personalized learning is in the onboarding process. So for example, depending on the role, let's look at a sales role, the onboarding learning can be tailored to give a much more detailed information, say on products. Whereas a new hire in another part of the organization would not necessarily need this level of product detail. It can define, therefore, what the learning and onboarding focus needs to be. It also forms part of the continuous learning journey for the employee. So the final case study that I'm going to share with you today pertains to a large retail organization. And they wanted us to provide a solution where they could identify skills gaps and rapidly upskill employees through this personalized content. And they wanted to be able to deliver learning in a remote setting. The solution also needed to complement their existing learning management system. So the solution we have just seen provided the following. It allowed for the collation and consolidation of various content across platforms. It provided the ability to share learning content with remote teams, which was a particular challenge for this organization. And it also allowed for real-time analytics to measure learning and engagement progress. Real-time insights were used to both identify and close skills gaps. And it was also able to integrate directly into their existing HRIS. And we can see some of the positive results here. 97% activation rate in the first 4 months of implementation. And within the first 6 months, 13,500 pieces of learning content were completed, comprising of 70% employee-generated content. And the real-time analytics helped shape the learning pathways and also map out or lay down the skills maps, which were used to plan for future learning. So I guess to recap on what I have spoken about today, and as an overall summary of today's solutions, we firstly looked at mentoring and then coaching, and then lastly, learning and upskilling, with an overview of each of the solutions and a video clip. And it's quite apparent that given the current environment of remote and hybrid working, that organizations are having to find solutions that can more effectively support employees in a much more personalized and intuitive way. And these organizations are looking for solutions that can work with their existing HRIS. So with that in mind, I thought it would be useful to give you an overview of how the process works here at the HR Tech Partnership, from problem identification to pilot and implementation. So I'll share with you some information on our digital corporate innovation hub, where we work with organizations on their AI journey. So our hub program provides solutions across the entire spectrum of HR, as we can see here, in all areas of the employee life cycle. We provide solutions that support employees from pre-boarding to onboarding and throughout the entire journey. And today my focus was on coaching and upskilling. However, as you see here, we covered the length and breadth of HR. And our Innovation Hub is a 3-month program that helps HR teams and business leaders to source and pilot an innovative digital HR solution in line with their own business need. And one of the key benefits is that they get to pilot a solution that they wouldn't ordinarily get access to without going through the hub. And lastly, we fully program manage the pilot, and our clients have the benefit of being able to leverage our extensive network. And if any of you would like any further details on our hub, please reach out to my colleague Mark. So I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you enjoyed learning about our mentoring, coaching and learning solutions in the context of both the external economic and internal organization environments. And finally, if you would like to continue with the conversation with a member of our team, please join us now in the Network Lounge. Thank you.